screen. That's all. Yeah, should be good here. Sorry about 30 seconds. Just be careful as well not to like hit your mics or if you move that too much. That should be fine. So we're ready to start here in a few seconds.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Jerry Tabatt with you. Another edition of our military community, and we've got a great show for you today. It's going to be packed with a lot of different information that deals with veterans, and who better than one of our local colleges, Gulf Coast State College, has a great program that they've got set up. They've got great advice for you, and they love our military. So we're going to get into all of this, and join us this morning is Miss Gretta Preston, who's a military education coordinator, actually works out at Tyndall Air Force Base.
That's correct.
And Mr. Stephen Alsleben, who is the coordinator for veteran services here. Thanks to both of you for coming in today. Gretta, so the people get to know you a little bit, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Jerry. My name is Gretta Preston, and I am the coordinator for military services at Tyndall Air Force Base. I've been at Tyndall working now approximately 13 years, and I love working with our active duty, the dependents, and the spouses, and I just love providing classes to them. So that's what I'm here for, to take care of our military family and doing anything I need to do for them.
Good deal. Steve?
So I was in the Army for 20 years as a chaplain, and then when my last 6 years, the Army sent me to school to be an ethics instructor, and I did that at what's now called Fort Novosel, was Fort Rucker at the time. And after that, I got out and went to school, used my post 9/11 GI Bill to go to law school, Cumberland Law School in Birmingham.
Good deal. So you guys both know all about the military and everything, and it's so important here in our military community. I guess the first thing I want to ask you is, and both of you can respond to this, why are the veterans so important to Gulf Coast State College?
Go ahead.
Because they served and they deserve the education, but also when they come in to meet with Steve or anyone within the Gulf Coast community, we want to make sure that their education experience is one where they felt like they got everything that they received from us, and that we respected them. We provided them with all of the information that they needed to be successful. So that's most important for me to provide to our members of our armed forces.
Yeah, I mean, we call them service members. So, you know, and that idea, I think, is ingrained in the military while they're in the military. And so a lot of times when they get out of the military, it's still there.
Right.
And I'm never ceases to amaze me when I see what our veterans and their family members are doing. You know, they're in the firefighting course or at the police in North Bay, in the police academy and the EMT courses, or they're, you know, here doing the nurses, becoming nurses, and just all the healthcare fields, or teaching even. So, you know, they're always looking to serve even after they're out of the military. And so, you know, that's a we want to serve those who have served, and they're our heroes. And I think I have the best job in the world. I mean, I can't believe they pay me to do what I do. So.
Well, guess I'll talk to the boss here. We'll see about that. I'll see. But and that's true. I mean, as veterans, I'm a veteran too. We just don't serve our 20 years or whatever and say, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna sit back. No, we want to keep going more. We want to keep giving back because that's what's built into us in our military careers. Now, because of everything that Gulf Coast has done, I want to get this out of the way so we make sure we can get this in. You have received all kinds of recognition here at Gulf Coast. Look at Gretta smiling already. First of all, Best for Vets College 2024. Wow, that's a big honor. How did that happen?
As we stated, just making sure that we provide them with the best services when they come and meet with us. And we want to provide them with every means of making sure that they are financially able to attend school without having to worry about other things. I know that there's life situations, but we try to assist them with everything as possible within means so that we can maintain that excellence. And we want to continuing to provide that to our military members and their families.
And they deserve that, Steve.
Definitely, yeah. We were. Let me add on to that too. We were Military Friendly, which is another organization, Military Friendly Schools.
Yeah.
They awarded us. We are among the top 10 small public colleges in the nation, which is pretty cool. And so they awarded us their gold medal with distinction for 2024 and 2025. And on top of that, we were also the first college in Florida to be recognized as the Florida Collegiate Purple Star Award.
Wow.
And that was established by the Florida legislature to honor schools, not just at the collegiate level, but all the way down, up and down, who have served their military communities, who make it a point to be friendly to the military community in everything that we do.
It's amazing too, and the veterans that I have talked to, they appreciate what you do here at Gulf Coast because, yes, they're a student here, but they're also a very special student because there's all kinds of things that veterans don't know about that's available here, and that's what we're going to get into right now. Is we're going to start talking about some of the qualifications to first of all, before we get into the monetary qualifications, what qualifications do you need as a veteran? Either active duty, retired, a spouse, child, whatever. What qualifications do you need to get into Gulf Coast?
For my active duty members, once they provide their orders and that's uploaded into the system, they are tracked in my system. That way, either Navy, Army, Air Force. So when they come in, we make sure that they are identified in our system.
And the active duty participation that you have, a lot of these members, or these military members, they come from different parts of the country. They have different educational benefits, Greta. Can they transfer those into Gulf Coast?
And what we do is our transcript evaluator would determine if any of those previous credits from a previous institution would transfer over. So we try to get those, if they had firefighter programs, we make sure that we line those members up with the correct department to get those credits transferred to that proper department for them.
And it's very important that they get that, and it just continues on. And also, like, say, overseas, when I was overseas, I went through the University of Maryland over there. Those kind of credits from another college are also transferable in to Gulf Coast, aren't they?
They are considered, but we have to make sure that what they've taken at their previous institution matches our description in our catalog. But 9 times out of 10, they do transfer over. Some do not when they go to maybe foreign institutions, that the descriptions may be worded a little bit differently, but normally we would accept them.
You know, Steve, one thing that surprised me too, and I personally did not know this, but in the military, if you get certain awards or things like that, there's actually some credit that can be given for some of those awards, like MSN and things like that, right?
Again, I mean, that's up to the school to award those And what they'll do is they'll look at the classes or what the person did, and then see if it compares to anything that we offer in the school. It has to match up with what's offered in our classes. That really is the only way to get credit for that.
Let's get into some of the benefits now, actually, where we're talking dollars and cents. And we've got a graphic. Let's show that up, put that up if we could, Seth, that talks about different benefits and things. And Steve, I want to let you lead off on that. We're talking about different individual things as far as, say, spouses, housing allowance, and things like that. There's some of the stuff we're talking about right there. What are we actually looking at here? I mean, it's amazing some of the benefits that are available.
So there are a couple different benefits available, and some of them are geared specifically toward the service members, and then some can be shared or are exclusively for the dependents, which would be the spouse and children of the veteran. And so what you're seeing up there right now, Chapter 30, that's the old Montgomery GI Bill, that's the granddaddy. It's kind of being phased out. And so that one just gives folks a flat amount, and they can use that money however they want, hopefully for school, to pay for tuition, books, housing, whatever needs arise. And then below that is Chapter 31. That is also exclusively for veterans. It's to help a veteran get back into the workforce. Typically, these are for folks who have some rating of disability with the VA. And so the objective there is to try and get them into a field where they can be productive and make a living.
And I would like to interject because my husband, he is receiving the Chapter 131 benefits, and he's going for electrical at Haney. So he's getting retrained in an area that, because of his previous rating, he's going into a different field. So, yeah.
And you mentioned something about disabilities as far as the VA. Are there different steps? Like, say, is there a difference for benefits for someone that's, say, 30% or someone that's 70% or someone that's 100% disabled according to the VA?
Yeah, so the VA will, the VRNE program is specifically for anybody who has at least a 10% rating. And if the veteran has a 100% rating, then that qualifies their dependents for benefits as well. And it's just, that is just an allowance that they receive on a monthly basis. And the reason they call it a housing allowance is because it's tax-free. So yeah. And then, of course, we have Chapter 33, which is post 9/11. And that one is really a very portable benefit, because not only can the veteran use it, but the veteran can also gift that to their family members, to the spouse or children. There's a catch, though. It has to be done while that service member is still on active duty.
Okay.
And they have to have at least 6 years of service and be willing to serve another 4 years. So they're going to get 10 years of service out of you if you want to transfer your benefit, at least 10 years, to your family members with the post 9/11 benefit. So.
Now, you work out at Tyndall there, Gretta, and you probably see a lot of the spouses in that. How do you talk to them about the benefits as a spouse or a dependent of an active duty service member? How can they get educational benefits too?
Okay, with a spouse, they just changed it. It was E1 through E5. It's a MyCAA scholarship. And that's available to, spouses that would like to receive an AS degree so they can go directly to work. They also pay for certifications, and they pay for AA degrees, but they do not pay for books or any supplies or things of that nature. But they are eligible for a MyCAA, and now someone can be eligible E1 through E9. So
Okay,
E1
that's
through
good. So they're
E9.
changing that too.
I want to also put a plug in our foundation, the Gulf Coast Foundation. It does an amazing job of raising funds and then packaging them into scholarships. And that's not just for our veteran members, but or veteran students, but
Yeah.
for everybody. And if you go onto the Gulf Coast website, there's actually quite an extensive list of scholarships that
Okay,
are
we're going to
available.
get into those in a minute, but before we get into that, Steve, this is a question I hate to ask, but it happens a lot. Military veteran, his children, his spouse are using benefits and he's using benefits. The veteran passes away. What happens to those benefits? Are they cut off once the military member is dead?
The benefits that are
The educational benefits they're receiving as far
well,
as
so the Chapter 35 benefits are for either, as long as that service member had a 100% rating, it doesn't matter whether they're still with us or no longer with us. The families are eligible as long as, and for the children they have to use it by the time they're 26 years old.
Okay.
That is a stipulation as well. But I mean, they'll definitely. And then there's also a benefit from the state of Florida that pays for tuition as well. That if somebody comes into the office, we'll give them all that information and try and give them the best best deal they can.
Well, and that's the big thing too. And I know both of you encourage that is, don't listen to what your buddy is telling you about. Well, you can't get this, or you can get this, you can't do it. Get off your butt in plain words and walk in or call and make an appointment and talk to you. What are the things that you stipulate that they have to bring with them when they want to say, do they need a discharge certificate? Do they need high school graduation? What are some of the things they need to bring with them so that you can actually sit down and determine what they're actually qualified for?
A lot of that stuff is digitized now. So really the DD-214 is the one piece of paper that we kind of need across the board to make sure that they had an honorable discharge. But beyond that, I mean, a lot of that stuff can be pulled off the web, and really the way it begins for any of these benefits is they go onto the va.gov website and put in an application for benefits, either the service member or the family member.
Should they do that before they come in and talk to you so that they've got some documentation about what they've already done so that you're not starting out from,
It's preferred, but sometimes they're not aware that they need to go to va.gov and apply. So they can still submit their application to the college, register for classes, but they have to go onto va.gov and make sure that they receive that certificate of eligibility, because we give them what is called a deferment. And it's like a placeholder until they have that documentation in their file.
And before we get into the scholarships, one last thing. Let's talk about honorable discharges. You brought up that 214 a little bit, Steve. I know back under the old GI Bill, if you served, like say in Vietnam or in the Vietnam theater, you actually got a little bit more credit for something like that. Is there still something like that for, say, the old Vietnam veterans that are still alive, the Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, and those kind of things? Are there any additional benefits for that?
Not really expressly in that way. But a lot of times those folks have residual, they will have a rating from the VA, disability rating, and that will go a long way toward extending their benefits, because I'll give you an example, like Chapter 33, which is the post 9/11 bill. You can use that up. A service member can use that up or gift it to their family, and then they will still be eligible as long as they have a 10% rating for Chapter 31. So I mean, it actually, they can piggyback. You can't have both at the same time, but if you use one up, there's always,
Sure.
well, there's not always, but there sometimes is something else we can do. I mean, it is important, like you said, not to listen. We used to call them barracks lawyers.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your buddy, what your buddy says. I mean, they may be accurate, but maybe not. And maybe we can think up another solution to an issue.
And the big thing is, Gretta, is they have got to come in and talk to you, because you can go on a website and see benefits of that, but there's still benefits in there that aren't listed on there. So they need to come and talk to you in person, because there's all kinds of benefits you can lead them towards, right?
Yes, sir. That is.
Yeah.
As far as our Thanks a Million scholarship that we provide, the Workforce Center, for those that are in the health services field. If they have the funding during that time frame, that can be some money for a student to take part in as well. So there is money out there for them.
Good deal. And you mentioned scholarship, Thanks a Million. What a proper way to bring this in. Let's go ahead and put the graphic up that deals with scholarships, and we'll take a look at those and see some of the scholarships that are actually available here at Gulf Coast. And there's a plethora of those available. All you got to do is apply for them. So let's go up to where they start listing the scholarships. And go ahead, Steve, you want to start with these?
Well, I can't really read them, and I would encourage you to invite Duncan McLean onto your show, because he could talk a lot more intelligently about these. But as you can see, some of them are very specific to whatever military service that the service member served in, and so like there's specific Army, Air Force, and so I mean you'd have to actually pull up each of these to find out what the qualifications would be and what they would provide, the benefits that they would provide to the service members. We find a lot of our family members actually take advantage of the what's the one with for the high school guarantee, the Gulf Coast guarantee, which provides them $1,400 just for graduating from high school and coming to Gulf Coast, $1,400 for the year. So it's a pretty generous, and we are. I don't know if folks know this, but we are we have the lowest tuition in the state of Florida.
Yes.
So it's just an amazing thing. It's, that we provide such quality at such a low cost. So
these scholarships, Gretta, they're amazing. Every one of those that is listed on the Gulf Coast website, are they all available right here locally or are there some of them that they have to use them at a major college or something?
With the foundation scholarship, It has to be used at Gulf Coast State College, and I'm pretty sure that each institution, they have their own foundational scholarships, but within the foundation, I think there is, when you saw the different scholarships that are available, I think when they do their foundation, like you said, Duncan can probably attest to this, when you state that you're Air Force or you're check mark a certain criteria, they may try to line that student up with one of those scholarships they may be eligible for. So,
and what's good about that, as you can see on the screen there, is that they actually tell you who's qualified. Like, for
Correct.
example, the Air Force Aid Society,
Yes,
that's for active duty military only.
Yes,
so that's some of the things that they need to come and talk to you about, because you can show them how they need to apply for those certain things also. So scholarship's very, very important. And the Gulf Coast Foundation, how can we get more information on that?
Well, they are co-located with our financial aid office here at Gulf Coast.
Okay.
So, hopefully you will have Duncan on. I think he could.
I'm gonna try and get him on.
Yeah,
Yes.
shed a lot of light on the various scholarships that are available, and the foundation or the Thanks a Million is that has been a really godsend for a lot of students who run into, just everyday, expenses, unexpected expenses if the car breaks down or something like that. They're able to step in and offer that person, a bridge so that they can make it to the next month, kind of.
Now, one thing too, Gretta, with you working out there at Tyndall in the education office, you see a lot of the active duty members, of course. Now, one thing we haven't talked about, and I hope you can shed some light on that, some of these Air Force, or making a difference, Air Force or whatever service you have, they have wives that are not native to the United States. They may come from Japan, they may come from Korea, they may come from Russia or Germany. How do you deal with that? I mean, because it's pretty hard to check an educational background on somebody, say, from Germany, right?
As long as they're listed on the orders, and if they have completed training or have taken credits at a previous institution, they will send those transcripts to what is called a agency that would transcribe those to determine how many of those foreign credits would transfer over to an American institution. So there's an opportunity for them to transfer those credits over. Yes, sir.
And that's something that I didn't know either, and that's why I asked that question, because there's, let's face it, everybody should be taking advantage of those. Do you have, say, translation for different languages available if there is that problem where, say, the spouse can't speak hardly any English whatsoever and doesn't really understand what you're doing?
What I try to do if someone comes into my office, myself, I see if there's someone within the community that offers that type of learning.
Okay.
So I would refer them to that. But other than translation, now as I stated, as for the credits, they're sent over to a translation company. Okay. Yes, sir.
Good deal. All right, something else we want to talk about before we run out of time here is, it happens all the time. You, your family, the active duty member, they're in classes here and everything, and all of a sudden you get orders. What happens?
Our institution is fantastic. Lloyd Harris, as long as they provide their orders and where they're going, it's taken care of. It's like they've never taken that class. So we really want them to leave with a clean slate. If it's something that's out of their control, medical, emergency or anything like that, as long as they have the proper documentation, Lloyd Harris will work and do his best to get that removed from their record.
And that's good too. What about when they get this transfer, Steve, do they have any financial obligations left, or is that taken care of also?
The VA will, obviously, if they have orders to deploy or something like that, the VA will take that into account and grant them, forgiveness in terms of the housing allowance and stuff like that. And the school and the VA have an agreement about tuition, how that gets handled. But yeah, there will be no expectation for that student to come out of pocket for, if they're going to deploy or something like that, or go on, come down on orders to go somewhere else.
What is the age limit for a military, either retired or active duty dependent? Is there a certain age they have to be before they can enroll here at Gulf Coast at any of their classes? Say, do you have to be 18 years old to enroll in like the nursing classes or something like that, or can they be in high school still? And
yeah, we've got dual enrollment students that, as long as they are anticipating graduating from high school, they do receive benefit from the VA as well. So
we talked about a lot today. We could go on, but we got just a couple of minutes left to go here. So I'm going to give each one of you a minute to final thoughts. Steve, we'll start with you.
One thing we didn't talk about is our digs. I mean, where we're located. So we're in the old radio station, and it's now the Cameron Skinner Military Veterans Center.
Great.
And it is in the center of our campus, and I like to think of it as the heart of our campus, and it's amazing. I mean, it's beautiful. It's the best military veterans center I've ever seen at any college that I've been at, and the Skinner family gave us a great gift in that.
Good deal.
My final words. I'm located at the Education Center at Tyndall, and not only do we offer assistance with counseling and assisting our military members, but we do offer CLEPS, Pearson VUE testing, and Dante's testing for any of those active duty members that would like to test out and not sit in a regular classroom. So we do offer those testing as well.
That sounds great. Thanks to both of you for coming in today,
Thank you,
Steve,
Jerry.
Greta. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Mr.
that.
Tabatt.
We learned a lot today. And the big thing is, do not be afraid to go and talk to either one of you. Go out to Tyndall, the Education Center. Go right over here.
Yeah, we don't bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take care of her.
Yeah, and you guys understand the veterans. You want to take care of them, and you make them feel at home. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you to Gulf Coast State College for what they're doing.
Thank you for having me on.
All right.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
So that'll do it for this edition of our military community. It goes by so quickly, folks. Again, Gulf Coast State College, an excellent place for veterans, military, active duty, dependents, whatever, to go and further your education. They'll take care of you. They treat you like you'd like to be treated, and they're available to answer any questions that you may have. Until next time, we hope you have a great day. This is another edition of our military community. We'll see you next time. I'm Jerry Tabatt.